Bernie Sanders has formally endorsed presumptive Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden and has directed his supporters to vote for Joe in November. Now, Bernie Sanders suspended his campaign last week. It became clear that he had no mathematical path to the nomination. And Bernie now is telling his supporters, you've got to vote for Joe. Here is Bernie himself issuing the endorsement during a call yesterday.
Our feeling. So today I am asking all Americans, I'm asking every Democrat, I'm asking every independent, I'm asking a lot of Republicans to come together in this campaign to support your candidacy, which I endorse, to make certain that we defeat somebody who I believe, and I'm speaking just for myself now, is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country.
Very important step for Bernie to be taking. Noam Chomsky agrees. This is not, the importance of removing Trump is not a centrist idea. Prominent progressives, prominent leftists are making this clear. Here's Noam Chomsky recently on Democracy Now!
If Trump is reelected, it's an indescribable disaster. It means that the policies of the past 4 years, which have been extremely destructive to the American population, to the world, will be continued and probably accelerated. What this is going to mean for health is bad enough. I just mentioned the Lancet figures, it'll get worse. What this means for the environment or the threat of nuclear war, which no one is talking about, but is extremely serious, is indescribable. Suppose Biden is elected. I would anticipate it would be essentially a continuation of Obama. Nothing very great, but at least not totally destructive. And opportunities for an organized public to change what is being done.
So this is it. I mean, listen, I'm with Bernie and I'm with Noam Chomsky on this. I'm voting for Joe Biden. And I don't have that much more to add at this point because you all know I've been laying the case out for a long time. I am not about vote blue no matter who. I am not even a Democrat. I'm about evaluating the choices that we have. And either Donald Trump will be reelected in November or Joe Biden will defeat Donald Trump and will replace him as president of the United States. I'm with Biden on that. And anyone who has seen how coronavirus has reduced Trump to even more of a dangerously petulant child, yesterday going full authoritarian during the White House coronavirus press briefing. I'll have that for you a little bit later. I cannot take any action that will facilitate Trump getting another 4 years in good conscience. Now, I know that you can create these arguments where you say, you don't have to vote, right? I mean, you can choose not, you can say, I don't like either option and I'm not voting. Even if I like one option, not exactly the same as the other, I can still say I'm not voting. That's totally fine. And I'm not going to go and attack people who are doing that. But you have to understand that on a practical level, you are acting in a way that makes Donald Trump get one vote closer to re-election and another 4 years. This from Bernie is simply Bernie recognizing that winning is the most important thing in November. That's how weaponized Trump's delusions and ignorance and incompetence are. Removing Trump is the most important thing in November. If Bernie's supporters truly trust him, they should do what Bernie has determined is the correct path. This should undermine, by the way, the narrative from some who are saying Bernie's trying to hurt Joe Biden's campaign. Bernie got out last week. Bernie is unequivocally endorsing Joe Biden now, period. Now, there will be some Bernie or busters who say, I don't care about Bernie's endorsement. I was never about Bernie as an individual. I was about Bernie in terms of his policies. Fine. There are two people running right now. It is very clear whose policies are closer to those of Bernie Sanders, and it's not Trump. So how do you, in good conscience, act in a way that reinforces Trump getting another 4 years? It could be by voting, or it could be by not voting. Either way, you have a role to play. And the idea of not voting as neutral needs to be tied up in a doggy bag and put in the trash can. Not someone else's trash can, as some people have done in my driveway, but your own trash can. But I think you understand the analogy. Biden and Bernie both want a $15 minimum wage. Biden and Bernie both want back into the Paris climate deal. Both want universal gun background checks. Both are for abortion rights. Both are for higher taxes on capital gains. Both are for paid family leave. Both are for citizenship for DACA recipients. And I can go on and on. Biden's not for Medicare for all. That's true. He's for lowering Medicare to 60 plus and adding a public option. That would give 20 million more people access to Medicare, and it would lower premiums 8 to 9% for everybody else. Bernie likely wasn't going to get more than that. And I know many of you hate me for saying that, but that's the reality. So the question is, how does Biden compare to Trump? It's night and day on every single one of those issues. So I can't control everything. I have no interest in, fighting with people or telling people that they're bad people or any of that. I can control my vote in November, and I can control communicating to you why that's my vote. I'm glad to see Bernie Sanders endorse Joe Biden, and I think most of us understand what we have to do. If you have 15 seconds, please take a 3-question survey at davidpakman.com/survey. We're trying to see how our audience is affected by coronavirus. So if you have just 15 seconds, please take the 3-question survey at davidpakman.com/survey. Totally anonymous. 3 questions, takes 15 seconds, maybe. 10 of the seconds will be just pulling up the website. And I'm going to have anonymized results for you coming up soon. Let me know on Twitter, what does Bernie's endorsement of Biden do for you? I'm D. Pakman on Twitter. One of our sponsors is privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at privacy.com/Pakman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. Takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be, because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft, and it's free. There's no catch whatsoever. But if you want, Privacy also offers a $10 a month plan that gives you 1% cash back and lets you create 36 credit cards a month, and a $25 a month plan tailored more for small businesses where you can create 60 card numbers a month and much more. But definitely go ahead and at least get started with the free plan. You'll protect your financial info. Companies can't charge you unexpectedly. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at privacy.com/Pakman.